This is the Ninja Rob Podcast with Marco Perazzo and Tim Carpenter. The podcast for the true martial artist.
What up, turd burgers?
Wow.
It's your man. They call me JB. These guys call me JB. Bro, I didn't. Let me acknowledge everybody. So
hold on. So the crowd,
you're killing
the listeners.
I think
the listeners love it when they get insulted. I've been getting positive feedback on it.
No. I wasn't talking to them. I was talking to you guys. I was calling you guys turd burgers. All right.
I think we need to start over.
What up, turd burgers? Yeah. So anyway, these guys call me JB. I'm in a room with full of turd burgers.
We don't.
This
call
is
you
episode
JB.
101.
We call you JB
here. Yeah, that's it.
Because you want to be anonymous. You don't want people to know who you are.
You gotta let them go.
There it is. Yo, Marco can't stop, son. Episode 101. You tuned into us. I don't know why, but hopefully you'll learn something. 101. I used to teach a class. It was called Karate 101. So, quick programming note. Timmy prematurely ejaculated in your ears last week.
What? Prematurely. I like that. That's good.
He premejaculated in your ears. I didn't give him the signal, but what
I think
happened was
figured out what
there it is. Watch.
What the name of the episode.
There it is.
Premejaculation.
Premejaculation. Supreme ejaculation. When Marco and Timmy ripped it away from me, and then they ended it prematurely. So he prematurely ejaculated in your ears. Just wanted to fill you guys in on that. So I want to start with a segment called "Fuck You." All right, I'm gonna go first. Guys, and hopefully it'll give you time to think about who you want to tell to go fuck you. I want to say fuck you to Apple, all right? Fuck the iPad, fuck the iPhone, fuck the iTunes, fuck the iPod, fuck the Apple Store in Delaware at the mall, fuck the manager, fuck the stupid Genius Bar, fuck the condescending salespeople, fuck Tim Cook, and ultimately, and this is the shot, I'm going at the dead homies. I'm going to go at the dead homies. Hold on. Steve Jobs.
Nah,
fuck
son.
you, eat a dick. Hold on.
What?
But no disrespect. There we go. There it is.
Wow.
Fuck you to all of those
Why?
people. So, fuck, because they treated me like shit at the store.
How so?
Listen, we're not going to elaborate. Just fuck all those people. That's where we're going to go. Who would you, Timmy, like to say fuck you to?
Dr. Fauci.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, son.
Dr. Fauci?
What?
Really?
Why?
Why?
Saving America.
I
You
feel
know how
like-
many? You know how many people he hasn't killed yet?
Yeah, I feel like he's perpetuating the hysteria over this pandemic.
Oh, okay.
I hate when he talks. He keeps telling people to wear more masks. It's not safe yet. When we all know that it is.
We do?
Yeah, we do. It's over. Everybody knows it's over. Let's get back to normal. Like, I feel like
is this the fuck you or is this the conspiracy corner? What is this called? What
This
are we
is
calling
fuck
this?
you.
Oh, it's the fuck you. Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
Right.
All right.
F. Dr. Fauci.
Okay. And that's that's what you're sticking to that
Yep.
one. Got you, Playboy.
Until he turns around and
apologizes?
just,
to you, specifically to you.
Yes. I feel like every time he comes out and talks on TV, I lose a couple students.
Really?
They're like, I want to wait until the numbers go down.
There you go.
That's always interesting, right?
And then I want to be like, what numbers?
Yeah.
What are the numbers right now?
Right.
Like, you're just repeating what you heard on the TV show, But whatever. So fuck Dr. Fauci.
All right. Marco.
Fuck psychosomatic diagnoses
Okay.
where you make yourself sick.
Got you. Yeah, I know all about that. I know all about that. I've had 40 heart
You
attacks.
got one of them?
I had one. Thought I had coronavirus yesterday.
What? Yo,
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Thought I had it.
he's
Why'd
going to
you think you
re-give it
had
to
it?
us. That's why.
Because one of my students was sick, and then he's like, "Hey, I just haven't been feeling well." And he shows up one day, and then he didn't show up for 3 more. And then I'm like, taking my temperature, doing
Rectally?
rectally. Right.
There you go. Nice.
I'm also checking. Do I have my taste? Can I smell everything? Is this detergent in my in my clothes? Can I smell that? I'm popping mints just to make sure I can. All right. Man,
Everybody knows mints kills coronavirus. So
No.
That's exactly what it is, son.
I'm worried about losing my sense of
I
taste
got
and
you,
smell,
son.
right?
Especially this coffee journey right now. Son.
And then he shows up the next day. He goes, "Oh yeah, I just had some stuff going on."
This motherfucker he was depressed.
pretty
So I
sure-
would say that the stress that you experience, we could all push back on Dr. Fauci.
Son,
Mm.
son.
So
He scared you into thinking that catching a cold
I try-
is a big deal.
well, no, because he kind of you almost left us. You got pretty sick.
Who did?
I was on the group chat every day.
Yeah.
No, I got it, but you
During
were
the-
man. You're
Say
like
it again, say it
you're a
again.
long haul. You
He's
know,
a
you're
long
having like
hauler?
you're a long haul.
Nah,
How
he's
so?
trying to be-
A little brain fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the CTE.
That's
That's
nice.
from all the years of MMA. But yeah, so that I was really in my own head.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
So fuck yourself. And
Yeah.
fuck yourself
Exactly.
and your
I did
psychosomatic
that this
bullshit.
morning.
Nice. But hey, nice. Dev, a fuck you now. Just for the listeners, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dev. You didn't even start talking. A fuck you is not the same as hate on sight. So be prepared with your hate on sight.
Okay.
So
Um,
a big fuck you to who?
I want to give a fuck you
Give it to
to any expert police officer that mixes up a motherfucking taser in a firearm.
There you go.
Big fuck you.
How
to
about that?
Yeah, that's a fair.
Fair
That's
enough.
that's a real
Yo,
fair one.
happens a little. It happens too much.
Yeah,
Doesn't happen
somehow.
So nobody really knows what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on.
whether
Right.
it's fucking weighs the same as like an empty water gun or not.
What the fuck is going on with that? It's a totally different weight. All right.
Yeah.
We good? All right. Now I want to move on to the most challenging class you've ever had or taken or both. You know, Timmy? I don't know if you guys want time to think about it.
Challenging
I can-
class.
Yeah, like a difficult class, a tough class. Like I'll go right in on mine. I had a class. I was teaching karate. It was one little boy, and it was me and the other students were on the other side, and I spent the entire hour trying to keep this kid's attention and get him through the. We would do this. We would do
taken
things
or taught.
taught or taken.
Taught-
I'm starting
What?
with taught.
Taunton?
Taken or
Yeah.
taught.
Yeah,
Taken.
both of those.
Okay.
This is the one I've taught. So I just poured so much energy out into the little kid, trying to keep his attention because we would have the door open and his eyes were outside. And afterwards, I was exhausted. I was just exhausted. I actually had left. So another instructor came in and I said, yo, I'm good. And I was just trying to keep his attention. It was one of the toughest classes physically I've ever taken. And I have one more.
So you didn't take that class. You taught that.
I've taught that.
Okay.
Taught.
Taunton. That's
Taunton.
what it is.
Okay. Taunton.
Yeah, one of the toughest
Taunton
classes
like
I've
a
ever-
tiger.
And I've taken a bunch of bullshit classes from a lot of people that had like 8-hour certifications and who sucked with that. That's a mechanism of my whole life. Now I have one more. I used to teach in an adjudicated youth program. So I went around the room
A lot of
trying
people
to.
might not know what educated youth
So
are.
these kids were all court ordered to be in this program. Shout out to Bernadette who ran it, and they had all been getting in troubled youth. So I went around the room wanting to get to know them. Right? I said, all right, let me get to know them. We'll create a little bond here. I'll teach them. And that's what it is. And the kids are all from the same place I'm from. They're all from Camden. So some of them were acting tough. And I go around asking, what do you want to do? And, one kid, I want to play ball. Another kid, I want to play football. Another kid, I want to rap. Another kid, I want to sing, this and that. And then I come to this one girl. She was about 14, 15 years old. And I'm halfway through the group, right? It was probably, 25 kids. So I'm at like whatever half of 25 is.
12 and a half.
12, I'm at 12 and a half. Right. So I say, hey, what do you like to do? And she turns, looks me dead in my eye, and she says, I like to fuck. And I went, okay, guys, we're done right there.
I
That's
was
all
going.
know.
I was
Son,
actually
son,
going to say suck
Yo, that's
dick.
exactly what she
I
said.
was
Son,
going to say suck
Nah, man,
dick was
yo,
what she said.
Nah, she said,
I thought
I
that
like
was what
to
you were going to
fuck.
say.
No.
No.
I was going to ask if Deb,
totally
if
said
Deb was the kid
No,
who wanted to be a
wasn't.
rapper.
No, that wasn't at this program. But when she said that, I almost swallowed my tongue. Wait a minute, you can't do that, right?
Right? We proved that.
Yeah, we proved
Okay.
that.
Yep.
Can't be done. And I stopped. The getting to know people ended right there. And I was like, all right, let's start class. And from then on, so that was those two particular classes that I taught in. What was the question? Is that the word? That I was taught in.
Right.
Real quick,
That was the
that
one.
girl,
Go ahead.
was she Puerto Rican?
But
I'm dead serious. No, I'm dead serious. Was she Puerto Rican?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Puerto Rican girl.
She was Puerto Rican. And how old would she have to be right now?
That's a good question. She could probably be,
How old was she then?
I'm going to say she was 15.
And what year?
14, 15?
And what year was
I
this?
don't remember, dog. This was quite some time ago. She could be in her mid-30s. I don't think it was 20 years ago.
I'm dead
She was
serious.
blonde. She had blonde hair.
I'm dead real. I think I know who this is, and we're talking about it afterwards. No, and this isn't a joke
Yo, did she
either.
go
I
to
got
a
you.
the program was downtown.
She was locked up.
The program was downtown across from the post office.
All I know is that she had to do some. She was locked up at one point too. Oh, well, more points after that happened with you as well. We'll talk
Right.
about it after
Well,
the
not a
joint.
problem.
What's her Instagram?
I don't know.
Yeah.
She's actually deceased now.
Oh, okay. Well,
she's on
listen, man.
Instagram.
That's the gram.
I'm
Listen, man,
done.
I'm just telling you.
Continue.
She-
I'm done.
She told that like I was just like, nah, because I just wasn't going in that direction.
So, speaking of, they're burying Prince Philip today.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you guys. I thought you were going to be there. I thought it was going to be me and Dev, and you guys were going to go.
We took a moment of silence at the
That's
beginning
it.
of the
Hey
podcast.
man, listen, that's what it was, man. So, you anything taken or taught?
It's there's like I can't point to a specific one.
Okay.
But like with kids classes, sometimes you can feel the energy, whether they're like they're focused and into it. And sometimes if you don't sort of set the tone early on, and I think it even starts before class. So I'll have like kids will come in sometimes if I don't pay attention to what they're doing before class, they might be like running around on the mat, just kind of running, screaming.
Right.
The whole class is kind of thrown off and they'll be distracted the whole time, which is like terrible to deal with. Kids that are distracted and like wanting to play around.
Yeah, and that's what that whole hour I spent trying to do.
And trying to hold their attention. But if then what happens now usually is like if I don't let the kids run, I say if you want to do something before class, you can practice moves, you can do push-ups, you can do burpees, you can climb the rope, you can do like
those little motherfuckers sitting down. They're sitting down with their parents.
Yeah. And that really helps control the class throughout, So, but it's
How
like
about
kids' classes and like you were saying, with one kid is 10 times harder than 10 kids.
It was extremely difficult. I was truly, truly exhausted.
So we had
I had to go home.
I have a wrestling class on Saturday mornings for the kids. And normally it's like 10, 12 kids. Today, I think it was 5. And it was way harder dealing with 5 kids because 12 kids, they kind of keep each other busy,
Like a pack.
And the energy is different. Like there's a sort of like level of students you need to have a good energy in the class. And if it's below that, it's kind of like off. And if it's above that, it can be off. But so yeah.
And if you have like the kids that are like really good, like your top performers, like the kids that the other kids fall in line behind them generally. But if you have like some kids that are just wild, you'll spend the entire time kind of focusing on them, trying to keep them.
Again.
Yo, I just, you know what I mean? And the dead homie Steve John, no disrespect. Fuck you.
Stop.
How about you? Oh, well, how about taken?
I've never taken a hard class.
Tooken.
Okay. I'm not talking about hard. I'm talking about like, this sucked. This was a waste of.
School.
Okay. Shout him out, son. Shout out Mr. Whatever's face.
I remember specifically there was a philosophy class I took in college that was terrible just because the instructor was there, the professor. Sorry.
Instructor. No.
The professor. The coach, the philosophy coach. He was,
that's it. Microaggression.
How's it feel, Marco? The safe space.
Some teachers were able to make a fascinating topic become terrible and boring.
Right. And that's what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a statistics class, and that's how that was.
Then I had, this is an interesting one because I had an
We'll
English
be the judge
class
of that.
in college. And there was times where the teacher just didn't show up to class. Then there was other times where she would show up to class and she would talk about how she had a relationship. She didn't need I remember specifically her telling us she didn't need a relationship with a man because she had a relationship with God.
Nice.
She hadn't had sex in like over 10 years.
What? What is that about?
She was totally insane. And she would go off on these like, weird tangents.
Like you already
and then sometimes she wouldn't even show up.
Wow, that was interesting.
Yo, that's the best though.
Yeah.
It's so interesting when adults are like talking to like pseudo adults or whatever age you were, like in those early 20s, and they're talking about their shitty life and trying to connect to you guys. And you guys are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
The ghost of Christmas future.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about you, Marco?
So I think Devin might have been there for this. We had I was teaching kids class, and we had a little boy, and he was a nice kid, but I knew there was something up with him, and he developmentally, like I don't want to like I clearly can't diagnose a kid with anything, but if I had to bet money on it, I'd say he was on the autism spectrum.
100%. I will say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
2 non-experts. Go ahead. Thank you.
So I will. I was teaching class, and I was helping him, and at one point, he just starts thrashing. Starts, like we were doing like a live portion. I think it was like a takedown drill or something, and he gets. Man, had he been an adult, it would have been scary. Like
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Rage.
Trying to bite the kid, trying to do everything he could do, and I sat there with him, and it might not have been the right thing, but everything that he didn't want to do, I made him do.
Got you.
Right? Like get taken down, do the takedown, not bite. Like it was not bite. Yeah.
Not bite. Man.
It was the most difficult aspect of any class that I ever had to do, number one, to not lose my cool, right? And number two, to not make it unbelievably scary for the other kid that was involved, because that's the other side of that coin. And also that that this was going on with this kid, and then it made me have to do a couple things after that made the class suck even more for me. Is have a sit down with his dad.
So I want to interject on this and say that Marco did the right thing. And it's very strange that his parents' reaction to things that he does is like he's not doing anything. I want to put it there as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. So and they're like they're clearly loving parents, but the problem that's going on is that their love is blinding them to the problem that the issues that this little boy is having, and they're always trying to blame. They were trying to blame other things, and I had to have one of the most difficult conversations that you can have with a parent and say, "Hey, I can't say what I think is wrong, but you might want to go see a developmental pediatrician or a child psychologist." Like these were real, like a real problem because if they it in the world of developmental problems with children, the later that you take care of it, the bigger that problem becomes.
Right.
And the less that they were getting involved, the bigger their problems were going to be because the issue isn't like, look, you as a parent, you can take care of your kid fine when you're alive. The second you're gone, all of your parenting needs to kind of work with that kid. And that's what we're all kind of working for as well, hopefully as parents to be. And the issue that kind of was sad for me, not to, I'm bringing the whole podcast down. But the issue that was sad for me was that that
normally is. Go ahead.
that they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like they all
You
the
let
signals
the
are
kid
there.
finish the class.
I let him finish the class.
I would
Yeah.
have thrown him out.
He
As soon
took
as a
control of it, though.
Kid
He took
throws
control.
a punch or tries to bite, I'd throw him out of the building.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think if you saw,
Everyone
if you
handles-
saw what
everyone-
it
But I
was,
think if you it's understandable with how you are right now. If your life experiences were different,
Yeah.
you would have likely approached it the way I approached it.
So for me, I have a part in raising a kid that has those difficulties with autism and everything, where he spazzed out. You know, my nephew, who's my god kid, with me in the Cherry Hill Mall, where I have to carry him out. The whole mall's looking at me. He's going nuts. I understand it. This kid's reaction was like that. It's not a normal temper tantrum. It's something there 100%. And I would have told, I don't have no problem telling a parent, this is what it is, because from my perspective, because I deal with this. I'm not just saying your kid is out here wilding. I go through this and I'm telling you, I think you should do this if you care about your kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, and as an aside, like I had to have a difficult conversation at my kid's school about a little boy in my daughter's class that we knew that I said, I don't think the parents, because they're immigrant parents, so sometimes they get lost in the system. I said, I don't think the parents are realizing that their kid might be on the spectrum. And I went and spoke to somebody at the school privately. I said, look, I don't know if I'm violating any trust, but I think you need to make sure that somebody gets in to see this kid, because if not, he's just gonna ping pong around the system, and when he's 18, he's not gonna have gotten any help.
Right. Now, is there one that you've taken that you thought just sucked?
Not just sucked, but I taking a class where sometimes it was. I don't like it when a class the techniques don't make sense to each other unless we're told ahead of time. There's a specific reason that these techniques don't make sense to each other. Like if we're doing a guillotine against the cage one time and then we're doing a knee slice guard pass the next technique, like how did we get from the guillotine against the cage to that? So that kind of, for me, those classes are typically the worst unless there's context to why we're doing it this way.
And have you taken classes like that?
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Dev, how about you? Teach? I don't know if you teach anything.
Oh no, I mean,
or even if you had a student that you wanted to, someone you picked up.
So I'm not a teacher, so I wouldn't have that. But in regular life, let's say I can't drive. It's the worst experience ever. Somebody teaching me how to drive, it's always a bad class. Also, boxing, right? It's not the skill of it, the work of boxing. Workout is the worst thing I've ever felt in my entire life. There's nothing like it, nothing on earth.
What was so bad about it?
I mean, just everything. The punching nonstop, like burnout, like like, dog, where I never would have thought my arms could feel like I can't throw another fucking punch is insane. As far as teaching, I never taught nobody, but y'all know how like you try to have a female handle your microphone in the right way.
I mean, that's teaching, son. It's a
But,
vital.
but
that's
they're
very
like
important.
yanking the cord
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
Like
yeah, son, you
they're
gotta
too
stop. You gotta put a stop.
I
to
don't know.
that,
I don't do much podcasting. So I don't.
son.
so she's the one on the mic podcasting, right? And they're fucking up the way they're holding the actual they're
just, like,
yanking.
bending it all the wrong direction.
So-
Tim,
so-
he's talking about a penis. Tim.
Yup. Timmy.
a
I'll
microphone.
be your Huckleberry.
Yes.
So yeah, so they, you know what I mean? They just ripping the shaft around like, yo, you gotta be a little gentler with this joint. They think they
Yes.
showing off and going crazy on it, dog. You know what I mean? Teeth, all this extra stuff. You feel me?
What?
And you're trying to tell them what to do. Like, look, relax, stop yanking.
Timmy, you can walk away with a lot of tips here. I don't know
Been
what
there.
side of the
Nah.
tips that you're walking away with, but
both
just-
sides. Be versatile. Be versatile.
I don't.
That's
I don't
it.
get it.
It's okay.
That's all right.
Nah, that's what's it.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Shark Teeth. Thank you for all the fucking Jesus, man. I know. Yo, she got him fixed afterwards though, so that new guy he's okay. I'm sure he's fine. But I wasn't. Ow.
Yeah.
So that was it. So the,
Yeah, trying to just,
the
because for
wax
some
top-
reason they get so
she's like, "What's
enthusiastic.
this?
Yeah, and it's like, yo, can you please
So that lady, you're hurting me.
Right, yeah.
Well, I was, now that because I had a perfect segue because you were talking about boxing into the repetitive nature of combat, but I don't know where to go after the topic. So we're still going to go back to the repetitive nature of combat as instructors. Because sometimes as students, we can all get a little kind of bored or annoyed. Like you just kind of gave like punching, constant kicking, doing all these other things. And since, Marco and Timmy run active schools that have good programs, how do you handle students that seem like they're floundering or getting bored when it comes to the repetitive nature of combat? Or is that something you don't necessarily have to deal with?
You got to try to make the class. So for me, like I like just kind of like mindless repetition of things.
Right.
Like, I don't have a problem with it, like doing the same thing over and over again. But I understand that like to run a class, that can't be what the class is, because that you will lose people. So just mixing in different drills. So not doing the same drill every single time.
Okay.
Like you can show the same technique in a few different ways. You can show have them do it different speeds. Like for striking, you can throw a jab cross, but then you can have them work fast jab, hard cross, or hard jab, fast, like stuff like that. Just mixing up tempos and speeds. Sort of like sparring drills. Like if somebody's doing like again with a jab cross, you can have guys do like a sparring drill where they're just throwing it. They can only throw a jab cross. Stuff like that.
Got you. But do you feel that it's necessary to have like
combat
in general is just repetitive in nature? Like you have
right. So in a class,
training,
in a class with like 20 people,
right?
Yeah, and for the average person, it needs to be more interesting. For like a competitor, someone that wants to be like really serious, then it's just like you need to do 1,000 kicks today.
Right?
Just something, because that's what I with some of the fighters. I tell them, it's like, all right, you got to do 1,000 kicks a week. Like, just get on the bag and throw 1,000 kicks.
Now, I know all about that.
And I tell a lot of people when they're doing bag work, I say you can do 50 different combinations, and I have it up on the wall. It's just like 100 jab crosses, 100 cross hooks, 200 kicks each leg, 500 skip knees. It's just like that will make you better in a shorter period of time than trying to do 50 different combinations and trying to be fancy on the bag.
Right. Hefe, what about?
Yeah, so I think that like what Tim is saying is clearly right, but also there has to be, when we're doing something athletic, almost a comfort in that repetitive nature of certain aspects of class.
Right.
So I think the beginning of class should always be very similar, so that people are like, okay, my body is preparing for this, excuse me, level of combat, level of exertion, level of physical activity, so that now the more you come to it, the more your body becomes accustomed to what's going to be happening next. I really do think that the most people, and you were talking about MMA, so I'll talk about jiu-jitsu a little bit more. The most enjoyable part of jiu-jitsu for them is what? Rolling. So making sure that in class there's some sort of rolling that occurs to help solidify the learning that just happened to make sure that they can make the techniques better. So specific drills, specific positional stuff, specific rule sets, I think can make it less boring, because then we throw in the idea of the uncertainty of the human reaction to what you're doing, which then makes it a little bit more fun, and you can kind of drill down. And also, people seeing themselves get better gets them a little bit more comfortable with a little bit of the repetitive nature of it.
Right. That's Dev. Now you just said about boxing you didn't like it, but when you're in jiu-jitsu or you're taking the MMA classes, what do you?
I don't know. I never cared what about repetition, because just in anything that I do, even like doing music or whatever, I actually think it's dope to do something over and over and over again till I can do it without thinking about it. I know the result you get from that. So I kind of look forward to knowing, like, I did that 1,000 times. I'm pretty confident that I could do it on a whim. I was just physically, like, couldn't throw no more punches. You know what I'm saying?
You're just exhausted.
Yeah, that was just exhaustion. But as far, I 100% understand doing something.
Because there's just certain, like Tim has that board. Like every fight you've seen that involves punching, kicking, kneeing, and elbowing, you saw all those techniques that you have up on your board. Yeah. Right? You look at MMA, you see all those techniques you have up on that board. Even when we look at jiu-jitsu, and I talk about certain jiu-jitsu techniques that you're a double leg. You're going to see that in some point in an attempt at double leg. Like, you have to know your double leg.
Like shrimping is involved in every single jiu-jitsu round that's ever been had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody's been shrimping. So shrimping something you can never do too much. You can just do, like, repetitively shrimp up and down the mat, and it'll translate.
As long as you're seeing the results in training, then you can get comfort in that. But also, if the person gets, if you're boring them with how you're doing it, then it's them, right? Because if most of the other people, they're seeing results, they're getting better, and they're seeing the results competitively or in the room, then if this person's bored, you're just not connecting with them with your teaching style, and your teaching style doesn't have to connect with everybody.
Right.
If you're bored, you're boring.
Right. So it's important for them. Any listeners out there that are beginners, you have to understand that the repetitive nature of just martial arts or getting better at anything, you got to do it over and over again.
Yeah, if you don't want to be good, you can do a million different things
and be great at none of it. Right.
Last week I drew like muscle groups on an arm so many times over again, and it felt good, and seeing how over time it was becoming effortless of where the muscles go and everything like that. Where in the beginning, when I first started, I couldn't remember. The reason why I did it is I went to draw Black Panther, and I couldn't remember where the muscles went. Became obsessed with it because I didn't like that feeling of not knowing how to do it immediately.
Yeah, I remember when I was really into drawing, I would like hands were tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I had
hands are super hard.
I had pages in my sketchbook that were just hands.
Yeah.
Same thing with like mouths and lips and eyes.
And eyes, right? I've seen people's books that just eye after eye.
And I'll see people, they'll, rather than doing 5, they'll do 4 fingers, because then that's like, for whatever reason, that one less finger, just they're more comfortable doing it that way.
Yeah, that's definitely a real thing. You know what I mean? That's why the cartoons are mostly like that.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yep.
Right, I got you. Yeah, I was thinking about you earlier, and I don't know if this is an old thing. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Apparently, someone is making an Optimus Prime that actually transforms.
Well, it's old.
It is old.
It came out in 2017.
Okay. Did they produce? They actually produced it
in 2017, and I guess now they're finally Robeson, the company, is finally like putting it out to market. But it's been like you could watch it on
them and Hasbro. Like they're it's a real deal.
It's a toy. It's not a giant tractor trailer truck, right?
No, it's small to me.
Yeah. So
it's a toy. But it looks like the robots you have.
It's 19 inches tall. It's an Optimus Prime that you can tell it transform. And it turns into the robot.
Make the noise?
Yes.
Turns into a truck.
That's probably the easiest part of the thing that it does.
And then drives forward, right? But what it also does is when you tell him like Optimus attack, he'll transform and start throwing punches. But he's sitting. He's so
amazing.
Yeah,
son.
he throws punches and he'll talk and be like, "Megatron, I will destroy you." Yes. But he moves and he breathes the entire time he sits on the table.
He's standing there. I was totally blown away.
I was just going to ask that question.
Man. You know what? Just because it looks
cool. Look alive.
It looks alive when he sits there the whole time. He's like moving like this, and it's like, yo, that shit's dope.
Yo, if you say Optimus, roll out, he'll turn back into the truck and then start moving, bro. It took me I wanted 10 of those fucking things.
What are they supposed to be selling for?
700.
Yeah.
bro.
That's
what
cheap.
I feel like I have
what all
no
that
problem
does?
with $700.
Worth every
I'd buy
penny.
two.
I think
I'd
so.
buy two of them.
Yes.
One to rock, one to
I
stock.
just
son.
bought a
Wonder-
Unicron for $700. It
Nah,
doesn't
bro.
do that. So
I was thinking about that, man.
Unicron. Unicron
Yeah,
is
tell
the
Timmy what
ultimate
it
bad
is.
guy.
It's pronounced unicorn.
No, it's not.
Yo, that
Unicron.
one is
right?
wild, man. That's
Yeah.
that was funny, man.
Yeah.
But I saw that, man. I thought about you. I was like, damn, I hope we bought two of these things, maybe 10. What the fuck?
Well,
Nah, why not?
everybody says if you want to buy them, buy two, keep one in the box
Yeah, rock and
because it
stock.
will. Because this is the difference. In that, real quick, you're only going to get Optimus Prime out of that. They're not going to be able to make all the other robots. Optimus Prime is the simplest transformation of any transformer. I made one out of paper that could turn from a truck to a man when I was like 9 years old.
Wait. You're telling me Boston Dynamics can't make them another?
Maybe they might.
Come on, son.
that's
Come on,
and-
Boston Dynamics.
And it would have to be a way larger scale because all of the little small tabs that have to move to make a transformer, they can't put gears inside of it to make.
I don't remember.
All
Was
that
Optimus Prime, when he would change, was he the size of a tractor trailer truck standing up, or was he?
He was bigger than that.
It seemed like he was.
He went
yeah.
from like 60 feet long to like 7 feet.
No,
long.
the trailer goes into no.
It just
The
disappears.
trailer disappears and
And
goes
it's
into a different
He's
dimension.
just a tractor.
Oh,
It's just a tractor.
Yes.
Yeah, that dimension's
Timmy,
called his
why,
rectum.
so stupid. why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
My bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, man. But yeah, I saw it and I thought
apologize.
about you. I was like, man, I hope he got
Nah,
it.
it's amazing. Everybody sent it to my phone.
No, man. Yo, hate on sight. Anybody ready? Ready to hate on sight? Timmy?
I'm ready.
Bang, let's go. No Dr. Fauci.
Poorly timed. No. That's a FU.
Okay.
Poorly timed. I don't like small talk in general, but poorly timed small talk.
Okay.
So I go to this convenience store, and I was just there on the way here. I get Coke energy drinks and stuff.
Nice.
And I usually stop there on the way here, so I'm there like once a week. And it's the same guy every time I go in, and it's like, "Hey, how you doing? Good. How are you?" Blah blah.
Seems to be about enough for a convenience store.
Right. So we're going through the transaction. I punch in my PIN code. The remove card thing comes on. He's like, "So how you been, man?" It's like the transaction's over, and he's hit me with like a conversation starter right at the end of the transaction.
How dare they?
Yeah, right.
It really threw me off. So I was like,
How have you been?
"Good, man," but I didn't want to continue. So I just stopped
okay.
there. I just said, "Good, man," and then took my card and left.
Yo, you should just say, I'm having a hemorrhoid flare up. Why don't you just say something like that? Like, yo, my AIDS is killing me, son. Like,
And
you
then
should
the
say
other
that.
thing is, so there's a,
Oh, we got two of them. Okay, let's go.
I mean, this kind of goes along with, there's a Giant right across the street from my gym. I always get an espresso there in the afternoon.
All right.
Ugh.
Yes.
And
Supermarket espresso.
Marco, take off your headphones, son.
What's a Starbucks supermarket espresso?
Yeah,
Oh.
even worse.
But it's the same people there every time. I'm there at the same time every day.
Every time, right?
I would like it, and they usually do. As soon as I come in,
They start.
they start
Yeah,
making
yeah.
it.
Do they say your name? Like, hey,
They don't know my name.
Okay.
I don't tell them. But
that's right, bro.
it's the same question every day. How are you? Come on. We don't need to have this conversation. We could do this completely silent and way more efficient. But it's the same people every day.
Bro, they have to do this their
Yeah,
job.
it's their job. They
It's
have
called
to do this.
greetings. They have to greet you.
Greeter.
you
Yeah,
ask-
that's why someone
you
Right,
ask
tries to
your
feel like-
customers how they're doing?
Huh?
You ask, hey, how's it going, man? How you been? No. Never? Okay.
Once in a while, not every day.
Hey, yo.
Yo, the fastest way to say that is just tell them that your AIDS is flaring up, and I'm sure they'll never fucking ask you again.
And just
son.
start
They'll never-
sneezing.
Be like, my AIDS is. Oh my
it's-
I
god.
don't know if
just-
the
You're a
COVID's
grumpy
back.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Grumpy cat. Nah.
But it's just, especially with the mask on, it's just annoying. Everything's annoying about it.
All right.
Small talk in general, but poorly timed small talk is.
No, I
They
agree
just
with
really threw off my whole.
that. I have something, and that makes me want to go into a different direction. But Marco,
The coffee industrial complex.
yo, man, speak truth to power, my friend. Let's go. Speak truth to power. Marco,
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
For years, we've been sold the idea that pre-ground coffee is the way to go.
Tell them. I'm gonna be a
Who,
hype man.
who has?
Pre-ground. You only drink pre-ground coffee.
Son.
No, I don't. I have
No?
a coffee grinder. I have 2 bags
No,
of Death Wish whole bean coffee.
No. Coffee grinder, not a grinder account.
Oh, hey. Yeah,
No,
so
'cause
we've been
We send each other messages. Mine and his. We go back and forth.
yeah, so
Our
we've
grinder
been
accounts.
we've been sold that coffee comes pre-ground.
Take
and
that.
yeah,
That's it.
and that it could have been roasted months ago, and all the aromatics and the
Son.
essence has been lost, and
Hit 'em.
the way it's packed is. I'm just trying to help people understand that you want to buy locally roasted whole beans that have been roasted recently.
So no more of a Bustelo.
No, sorry to say.
Yo,
Hard
but
to
that's
say.
what this podcast is about: bettering people's lives.
Yeah,
Mainly
100%.
our lives,
If-
but yours too.
If you could get yourself there's a local roastery here in
Here we
Cherry Hill
go.
that I use, Royal Mile.
Oh, shouting them out.
Yeah, maybe they send
plug?
me a bag or
Or
two.
maybe one bean.
Yeah, hey,
Who knows?
I'm a little grinder at home,
Nice.
machine, not a count, and an AeroPress, which Dev, you don't drink coffee, do you? No,
No,
the caffeine's bad for you. And which we all have, and I also have a Clever Dripper.
Damn, son.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be getting a little mocha pot today.
Listen, Marco's coffee snobbery is
But-
at the top. And
but
listen,
I have
that's
to
why
thank-
you
I gotta
have to
thank-
speak truth to,
I gotta
to
thank
power.
JB
Speak truth to power,
because
Marco.
he turned me on to a guy. So which was interesting, like the coffee industrial complex and people buying at Starbucks. Don't do it anymore. Go to good coffee shops where they roast the beans there and they grind it for you. Don't fall for the bullshit.
That's it,
The
man.
wool's been pulled over our eyes, but JB turned me on to James Hoffman on the YouTube.
On the YouTubes, the
on the
internets.
YouTube. If you wanted to see somebody make an idea that you thought was simple, unbelievably complex,
That's right.
listen to this guy.
Usually people like it the other way around.
Yeah.
Complex ideas made simple.
Yeah, but it seems like since people have so much time on their hands now, they're not going anywhere. They're gonna die. Like people are making fucking sourdough.
Yo,
bread,
this guy's
son.
got
That takes
800,000
80 days.
followers on YouTube. He put out one AeroPress video, went from 750,000 to 800,000 followers.
Son, that's how it is.
Yeah. So, but it's really interesting because coffee has become one of those things where you change one aspect of it,
Yes.
and the end result is almost a completely different product.
I heard something a long time ago where they were talking about just kind of like the wine culture has kind of been permeating into everything, kind of the food and where terroir is important, where the animal's raised, where the vines are from, where the
What was
coffee's
that
from.
word you said?
Terroir. Terroir.
What animal?
I'm talking about food, the food.
Okay.
So those terminologies are being used in food.
Like
they're
where
used
the
in
grapes come
coffee,
from.
where the grapes come from, right? The land, the terroir, and all you know what I mean, Salvador Mundi. And so those things have been, and it's because you just want to elevate your experience with the things you're having. And the cool thing about Marco's journey in coffee is he's making me better. Because it's
Yo, you're laughing,
Yo,
bro.
hate on sight. He hates the fact that I
Bro,
just use fucking journey.
I hate
son.
journeys into things.
Me and this dude went to. I found this one coffee spot in Center City. We went to go get espressos because they're like blah blah blah. We're walking down the street and we're like, well, it's fruit forward. I taste grapefruit.
Son,
There's wood.
you should have heard
there's
us,
this.
son.
And
It was
I look at him and
disgusting.
he looks at me and I go, fuck, we've become those
we
dudes.
those dudes, son.
Yeah.
We those dudes, yo.
Certainly have.
But it's the same. Listen, it's the same thing as banging on a shitty cheesesteak. Nah, man, these ain't that good. It's the same thing.
No,
Just a different
we all like to
terminology.
geek out on.
Of course,
But I don't have a palate like that for food.
Nah, but
I
it's-
can't
no.
taste nothing in
Nah,
nothing.
we were
nah,
talking last week. We were talking about colored Gatorades and different
Yeah,
things
that's
like
what I
that.
was
Yeah,
bringing
but
up.
I
We
can't-
broke
I
down the
can't,
flavor
like,
profile of different lemonades. We were talking about.
Nah, you got it. The thing about it is, it's like anything else. It's repetitive. It's more coffee, more food. Like we only know when someone teaches us. So I had the good fortune of having friends in the food industry. So when you get a chance to expand your palate, that's a real thing. And then an acquired taste. I remember the first time I had sushi, I was like, this shit is nasty, son. The
Like
fuck
when
is
you
this
talk
shit?
to, like,
And
a
then
real-
as I started to eat it and learn more about it, developing my palate, it's like anything else. It's a muscle, man.
You
And
talk to
for me, it's just about being a fly nigga. Go ahead.
like food, like these like food nerds.
Yes.
It's like so you
Yo,
you
first of all,
love
weed,
Chick-fil-A lemonade.
My G.
No, but that was him.
But I'm
No,
saying-
that was him.
But so you just know like this tastes fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
there could be like the guy that designed Chick-fil-A lemonade. He could sit down with you and tell you like this is what I have done to it, and you'd be like, oh shit, that's why it tastes so good. Like they can kind of explain to you the
Sonic
things that-
Limeade, but that was
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I was
Sonic.
Sonic Limeade.
But it's the
Okay,
same
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would know. We could do a blind taste.
But I'm
You
not
know
sitting
what
there
Sonic
just like,
Limeade
but
is.
can you taste that it
Not
has
yet.
That's just
Not
because
yet.
you haven't.
1942
Nah,
fucking
wait,
the
wait,
styrofoam.
That's cool though.
But,
It's like, what?
but you could look at some guy that
That was a
drew.
good one.
Who were you just trying to draw? I forget.
Black Panther.
Black Panther's arm, and you could be like, "Oh, look what he did with the tendon belly on the right arm with the
Okay.
muscle
It's-
and the striations."
Bro, it's all the same.
Of,
Yeah, I still wouldn't call it that.
Nah,
but you know what
I'm
I'm
still
saying?
talking about the part right here. I don't know
could,
what this is.
You could look at it and
Bro, this is
and
riblets.
appreciate him. Just be like, "All right, this is what I think he did here.
That's true.
That his technique, so forth and so on."
Because I was born also with a keen eye, not keen taste buds. My taste buds are trash. I
Nah,
promise.
son, you got to develop them. That's all it is,
Yeah.
man. This guy tell you we've had all of us together have had amazing meals, and we've had some amazing meals in Europe. You know what I mean? And then one time we had cheesecake in Spain, and then I went to New York. I brought this motherfucker back a slice of cheesecake from a place just so we could compare it.
and cheesecake was the kind of thing like you think cheesecake is cheesecake, and then you
Nah,
had
son.
this place in Spain that's known for like the best cheesecake in the world, and you're like, this is you can't eat like a normal.
They have a
fucking
cheesecake factory in Spain.
Yeah, you can't ever go to a cheesecake factory again after you've had.
No, but
No.
you see, but so then you got to be able to kind of say, all right, you know what? I know I'm getting coffee at Wawa. I'm not expecting much
So
out
is
of
there
it.
no place for Bustelo in your life anymore?
Not anymore. No.
Really?
Yeah. I'm grind like it. Depending
you
on
stand
how
on
I'm
a-
making the coffee, might take me 20 minutes to make a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Because I've gone through those phases in my
Right.
life. But you don't always have 20, and there will be a time where you're like, I'm sick of fucking taking 20 minutes to make coffee.
Well, I mean, when that time comes, I'll let you know. But before, I didn't really necessarily care because you're talking about palates. Coffee was one of those things where I realized that I can train my palate to like something different. Where at first I was drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then I only had access to Starbucks, and I'm like, oh, this isn't so good. And then I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I like the way this tastes. And then I started drinking Bustelo again and espressos and changing my coffee up. And I'm like, okay, I can't go back to that other stuff because I don't like the way it tastes anymore.
What do the
So
coffee guys say about Keurigs? Hate them?
yeah, so they're all the coffee people that you want to listen to are
That I want to listen to.
yeah, well,
Oh my
that,
God.
that know what they're talking about. Freshly roasted coffee, freshly ground, made then. So that's you're getting the best out of the bean.
Right.
So anything pre-ground,
Yeah,
garbage.
all that stuff is just all about the same thing, just developing your palate. And even if you think you don't have it, you'll get it. It's like anything else. If you really wanted to give it a try.
Yeah, you'll maximize it to the degree that you can.
Yeah.
So here's another example. You've liked watching fighting your whole life.
Mhm.
And then once you train it, you develop a different appreciation for what's going on in the
That's
grappling
true.
and stuff. You know?
Yeah, it's the same. It's all you have to do is learn the language of the thing. If that's the right, if you learn the language of the thing, then you'll understand how.
But this is the difference.
Let me give you an example.
Uh-huh.
When you see two guys, when you with your boys or your homie, whoever, and these two dudes are locked up, and they're like, look at these fucking guys on their back, like holding each other. What is this shit? But you see the work. You know where this guy's going. They just don't know.
But this is the difference. I always could see the work. I didn't know exactly what certain things was until I started learning it from Marco and
you
like
learn the
Timmy.
language.
But the difference is I don't have an interest in food. I always had an interest in beating people up. I always liked it. I don't care when I eat a cheeseburger. I don't give a fuck about food at all.
So
Yeah, but you
for
do
me, coffee
Mhm.
was a vehicle to
To
get
the
in caffeine.
That's it.
So I was like, all right, I'll just, it was no different than a 5-hour energy. It was just convenient. But it was, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I can make it, if I can make better coffee, if it tastes better, that makes it even better. And then just getting exposed to people that made it interesting enough that you want to learn more.
And you can't unlearn it, bro. Once you know it, then you know it. It's one of those things. It's just knowing the difference between something that's good and something that's not. In the cigar world, and Timmy and I have smoked cigars together. There's a term that I heard a guy from England say, smoke less, but smoke the best. And it's that striving to want to eat or drink or smoke or be a part of something that's better, that takes things to another level. And that's all it is. Even if you don't eat, something that's really great, you have a small piece of Wagyu, something like that. You want to get in there just to see where you can fit in and learn and learn and learn. That's what it's all about. Just trying to get better at it all the time. But you got it. It's just one of them things when you don't have the interest. I remember the first time I thought I had wine and food paired. I was like, this is some fucking bullshit, son.
No,
Fuck out of here.
Not.
I was on a cruise to nowhere. Shout out to the girl. I don't remember your name that paid for that. They put the food together with the wine. I was like, this is some stupid shit. And then when I had that wine and the food, it was just like a whole new world. Like, it was terrible. I was just floating in the air. I was like, oh, this shit is real. And the shit is real, man. The stuff that they tell you, the stuff about coffee, flavor profile.
And I had a similar experience when I was at the Four Seasons, and we did a wine flights paired with the food,
Boom.
and you couldn't tell what made what better because it's easy to step back before you did it. And like, it's fucking, like you're saying, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Just when they got good coffee's bullshit. But then the people that know, man, they must know for a reason. And I was like, wow. And look, the environment helps.
Yes.
The mood you're in helps.
That's
like
a very
all those
important
things
thing.
help.
It's very
But
important.
at the end of the day, I couldn't decide what made what better. Did the food make the wine better, or did the wine make the food better?
And as much as people think that shit is not real, that shit is really real. And the experience, who you're with, right? 4 friends standing in an alley in San Sebastian, Spain, eating an amazing piece of beef. You know what I mean? Is a great experience. And Timmy, me, Timmy, Noah, and another guy. You know, shout out to Bobby. So, you know, all those things add together. And when you get the time and, you know, you focus in that direction, it's a luxury. It's an interesting thing to do.
You know what? Circling back to what you were talking about of the repetitive nature of combat, right? So this whole idea.
This is why he's the boss, ladies and gentlemen. No. That's why I call him Hefe.
The camaraderie in class also kind of helps keep people focused and motivated, that they're around a group of people that they enjoy doing this with, and they enjoy it even more. Like, oh, they're learning, they're getting better. But man, I'm with JB, I'm with Devin, I'm with Tim, and you know, like everything that comes with it. So it's the environment and the culture that elevates.
That's what's up. Hate on sight. Timmy?
He did his.
You did hate on sight already? What was yours?
Coffee industrial complex.
His was coffee.
Bullshit small talk. My other hate on sight is when they lose direction of how the show's being produced.
Hate on sight.
So I never, like I said, I don't care about food. I never liked food. I'm a very basic.
But you eat it all the time.
Yes, and I'm super big. Like I can eat the same bullshit every day. I don't care about food, but I always liked bitches. So I always had a taste for that. And one thing that I can't stand, man.
Yo, you eat ass and pussy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a fact. So
you should.
The one thing that I don't like is
he eats every motherfucker.
When you see uncredited adult cinematography. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When you watching a Yorno, and they don't tell you who the bitch is in the porno, so you can't find no more movies.
No. So the internet is amazing for this,
son,
because you can go on Reddit, and there's subreddits that could basically.
He's heard about this.
Well, I knew Devin was going to say this, so I did a little pre-research. A little pre-research, right?
Pre-research. Okay.
That guys will put up pictures, like screen grabs from videos, and be like, who is this?
There you go.
And invariably, within minutes, guys will give an answer. Oh, that is blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
from
ladies.
This movie.
This is the problem. This is the problem with this, people at home.
Yo, thank God to the incels who do that. Thank God to all the incels.
Nobody has time for their session to be interrupted by a fucking Marco Google search.
No, I'm glad that I'm not interrupting your session.
You do that afterwards, son.
No, but say what?
After you get the evil out.
But sometimes what happens is these joints is like they don't get to the end. It's a short boy. It's not, and it's like, yo, where's the full length of this? You
text that thing to yourself and just keep enjoying that, man. So that's your hate on sight. Is that your hate on sight?
Yeah, man. I don't like when they don't get their credit, man.
Short form pornography.
That's it.
Without credit.
We want to know who they put in hard work.
What the credit, man?
Some harder.
It's also not fair to the actress.
That's right. It's not.
Yeah,
she deserves everything she gets.
You know, they shouldn't just put her as big butt white girl. Like she has a name.
We don't need that. No,
she has a name, son.
Yo, I'm sex positive. So I don't disrespect. That's your thing. Now, my hate on sight is floating dookie balls, and I'm gonna explain.
What?
A floating dookie ball?
Okay.
Everybody know what a floating dookie ball is? You know how you there, you take your dump, right? You know, you do your thing, you hit it, and then you go. You're not looking at the bowl. You take your eye off the prize. Look at the bowl. You come back.
He fought back.
Yo.
He swung to the top.
I know you hate me, but god damn, son, that was a good one. Damn, I know you hate my guy. Listen, and this motherfucking incredulous, little disrespectful dookie ball, son. And I hit it again. I found him. I found him like 25 minutes later, right? He was hiding. And then I hit it, and I'm like, all right, he's gone.
It was like a dookie buoy.
Son, you know what I mean? Fucking,
that's a good explanation.
A dookie buoy.
Buoy.
What is it? Say it again.
Dookie buoy.
You know why though, right?
Why?
Because that joint, the way that it's composed, it's hollow more in the inside. Somehow it was more.
It's like the moon.
God.
Possibly.
It was disrespectful though.
Possibly.
I hit it. I was like, all right, bye, motherfucker. I hit it. Don't you know this bastard just swirled around?
Yeah.
I thought he was going, pop right back up on me. So just right in my fucking face, man.
Wait, I thought you said you didn't. What, the second time you went to?
The second time. So when I called him, I was like, bang. Okay, I see you, son. I hit it.
And the man of conviction.
So you got a ball up toilet paper?
Let me use my method.
All right, my bad. Go ahead, son.
Man. No, and you don't ball up toilet paper. Take 2 sheets, exactly 2, fold them together, nice and tight, and then you got to lay it right on top of the dookie ball.
Weigh it down.
That's it. And then boom, hit it, and then he was gone, and I bid adieu to that motherfucker, son. That's my hate on sight.
Did you hear him with the French?
I do.
Bid adieu. I bid a dookie.
I bid a deuce on that motherfucker, yeah. So that was my hate on sight. Oh, over the week. How was your weekend? Because I know we didn't see each
Saturday.
other last week. Well, how's this weekend? So, your weekend's fucking great.
You want to combine
Last weekend and this
Sunday
weekend, we only see each other now.
with this afternoon?
What I
That's
really
fine.
want to segue into the fact that I babysat over the week, and it's really not easy. I don't know. I mean, it's really easy. I don't know what you people are fucking complaining about. People who
How'd
have
your
kids.
diaper change go?
Son, it was fucking. I was afraid of the Dookie. There's another Dookie I was afraid of. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to change this diaper.
Yeah,
There's
I
gonna be a poop in there.
go in. Don't even worry about it. When
Yeah?
it's your kid, doesn't
See,
matter.
it was not
Yeah.
my kid,
Yeah.
so I was totally afraid of what situation that was going to happen. So but it went well. She peed. So shout out to me, the greatest uncle in the world. Son, bang, killed it. Had those kids. I think it's illegal to make them do exercises, but I did.
Nah, you make it. That's not.
Yeah,
illegal.
I made the boy walk around the yard with the dog, and so we got a Dookie out of that dog. It didn't happen. So it is what it is. Now, love on sight. All right, we switching it. Love on sight. Love on. I see the eyes. I see the eyes. I see the eyes. Look, I see the eyes. I'll give you a minute. I'll keep running my motherfucking mouth
I got an answer
until
right
you guys figure out right away. Boom. Hold on, Marco. Go.
My children.
The children, little children see this. Oh, that's nice.
My kids.
The kids. Every time you see them.
Every time.
Every
Yeah.
time.
Even though most of the
remember-
time when I walk in the house, they don't care that I've walked in, and my dog is the only one that's happy to
Yeah.
see me.
Yeah.
I'm
How about when your son is walking up your back in the middle of the night because he's like sleeping and he's just trying to kick you out of the bed?
But still love him then.
Love on sight.
Doesn't mean I don't want to punch him.
No.
Right. But
Gotcha.
yeah, love on sight.
Instant karma.
Instant
Like
karma.
somebody
Got
stepping
you.
to somebody that they don't really know what the fuck it is and them getting their head knocked off. That's why I love crime faces so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love that on sight.
Got you. Timmy? Love on sight, my friend.
My wife.
Nicolette.
Oh, come on, man. That's
you know what? That was my second choice.
That's why this works. That's why this works, man.
Oh,
Go ahead, let's expound on that, Timmy. Do you
No,
mind?
it's just a joy. She's a joy to be around.
Really?
And I get to see her every day.
I agree.
Great.
And it must have been one of your best teaching experiences because
Yeah.
wasn't you her teacher
Whoa.
and then ended up
Yes.
being
Yeah.
a freak boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Being a freak boy.
What about
But
you?
I
What
about
definitely
me?
agree with Devin on the.
Yeah.
That's what,
On what?
I think one of the best
Instant
things on
karma?
the internet is you get to see karma in real time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I
Not
watched
the
today, I
wait
watched-
long form. Like
Yeah.
karma's coming to get you
Yeah,
eventually. No,
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I think I sent you. I don't know if you watched it before here. Like a kid runs up on a guy to do an armed robbery, and the guy's like, "Are you serious?" Smacks the gun out of the hand, punches the guy in the face, choke slams him, and the kid just starts screaming like a girl. And then he picks the kid up and just like shoves him out of the way.
Wow.
I think like he was squealing.
Yeah.
I saw somebody else post
Yeah.
it earlier.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The guy's just like, "Are you serious?" And then boom, cracks the dude. And the choke slam, he like lifts the kid
Yeah.
up.
And he's like,
the one arm, like that.
It might have been two,
No, okay.
but it was a choke slam. And I think the kid was only probably like 12 or 13.
he threw him like the dude threw the bobcat. Did you see
Yes,
that video?
yes.
Yeah.
Yo,
What?
and that was a real bobcat.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
what is- Oh, I'm sorry. I had to switch phones. This phone's a piece of shit. Fuck Apple again. What? A bobcat? What are you talking about?
Woman was attacked by a bobcat coming out of her house. Husband grabbed it.
What'd she do to the
threw it-
bobcat?
Well, who knows?
Yeah, well, no, I think she was carrying an animal or
Oh,
something. So
okay.
that's what it
little,
in a
like, cat
case.
carrier.
So
yeah.
this cat attacked her, and then the husband who everybody said he was Mr. Rogers before that. He was very polite. He's just got his coffee and get in his car. He thugged it out, man. He went and grabbed the bobcat by the neck and fucking it like he looked at him and said some shit. But the way he threw him, the way he threw the bobcat was crazy. But the bobcat jumped back up. Now my man pulls a burner out immediately. Yeah,
The
he had a
bobcat?
pistol. No,
Oh,
not the
the bobcat on the heat, nigga. What?
No,
Son,
Hey,
we're running,
Yo,
son.
what neighborhood
Yo,
is this
yo,
bobcat
Yo,
from?
that's why this works, nigga. Let's go.
But
Go ahead.
what-
Yo,
what-
he pulled the strap.
he pulled the
He
strap and he's
backed
like,
out
I'm
on
trying
him.
to shoot this motherfucker. He's like running around the car.
Yo, he's
Then-
chasing the bobcat now.
Yes, because the bobcat goes back to chasing his wife.
Of course.
So he's trying to like tell her like move. But the thing that black people were saying inside of these
All right, go ahead.
comments,
Let's hear it.
they was like, this is the fuck the bobcat and everything else. This is what we need to know as a people. The white man is strapped at all
That's
times.
how it is.
Do you
That's
see
it.
how
Yeah.
this motherfucker
Yo,
pulled
waiting-
this burner out?
waiting
Yo,
to
let
get
him
run
know
up
it's
on.
not easy out there.
Yeah, this
It's
Yeah.
not easy, man. Bobcats in these streets, man.
You
You gotta
never
watch
know
it.
when a bobcat's gonna run up on you.
Right,
and I'm
right. Or when
glad-
a white guy's gonna pull his strap out on
Yo,
him.
and I'm
yeah.
glad that
Yeah.
that bobcat wasn't holding the heat because that'd have been terrible. So, I mean, I had so many questions if that would have been the case. So, my love on sight, I don't know if I have one. I've been thinking about asking you guys about it the
Yeah, your
entire
hate
time.
on sight
so
game is
my
strong.
hate, yo, because my hate is gone.
Well, how about this? Maybe your love on sight is that you have so much hate on sight.
my love on sight is having a good time with my friends. because as a man that doesn't have much family, you know what I'm saying? So it's having a good time with my friends at all times. So seeing the look on my face, seeing the look on my friend's face when I say something funny or if we're doing something together, that's my love on sight. Just being with my people. So another thing I wanted to cover was secret competition. There's people out there that are in competition with you and you don't know it. You have no idea. So how would you mitigate and how do you handle people that are in competition if you've noticed them or if you don't? I don't know if you even give a fuck.
I don't have any competition.
Yo, the realest shit you ever said.
Yeah,
There's
right.
my
First,
G.
white guys
might-
carry guns.
Yo.
2, white guys don't have
They
competition.
might
Got it.
be competing with me, but I'm not competing with them.
Yeah.
At no time. Right. Got you, Marco.
Not that
Yeah.
I know of.
No, and this is, like
You don't
there's been-
care.
There's been certain things that I've kind of grown into, and before, as a school owner and a businessman, I was very worried about what the competition was doing and how they were handling things. And so this isn't like I haven't always been this way, but just like Timmy, like I can't execute what I need to execute if I'm focused on
If you
them.
focus on them.
I'd heard a racing driver talk about if you're looking in the rearview mirror, you can't go forward, right? And these dudes are behind me, so I can't,
At all times.
Yeah.
For me, this is a little bit different. Sometimes you do got to look in the rearview mirror, in my opinion, because sometimes competition is trying to, in my case, trying to sabotage things that I'm working on right now. And I'm dealing with that on a ridiculous level right now. I have like major deals, different things going on, and I have individuals that get wind of it and are literally trying to do everything in their power to stop those things.
They're trying to sabotage you.
One at the phone call, I just got a new call last night where somebody let me know, hey, this is what's going on, and these dudes are trying to stop that. So I actually deal with that a lot. And like Marco, I still try to keep focused on, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because eventually these motherfuckers is going to get tired. Because I'm not going to stop. This is natural for me to do what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm
I
saying?
would say that's an enemy, not competition. Big difference.
No, and they're
Yeah,
not doing it
yeah,
secretly.
yeah,
They're doing
yeah.
it. They're doing it out front. But there's people out there.
Nah, they're doing it secretly.
Right.
Because it's we're public people and them so more than myself. So the way they needed to look is like they're not thinking about me at all.
Yeah, but that's
But
not true.
behind the scenes, my phone rings, Netflix, different different channels,
Guys,
and they're saying,
Not too
guys,
much,
I
not
feel
too
like
much.
a big come up might be
Oh,
coming for the
snap.
podcast.
and
Yo, we're gonna go. Devin left. What?
and it'll be certain things where it's like, oh yeah, we heard this about you, and it comes from the same sources. But regardless, I'm going to make it happen or whatever I'm doing. Like,
when people realize that you don't care, like what they're thinking or feeling, like I learned this from Tim a long time ago. It is more important what I think than what they think. Number one. Now, the people that I trust and care for, it's important what they think, but still ultimately what I think overrides all that. Right. And that's something that Tim hit me to a long time ago where you can't not concern knowing what they're doing is smart. Caring what they're doing, you can't because you get caught up in those feelings.
Makes sense. I mean, that's the way I've. It's taken me a long time to notice it because since it is it's secret competition.
Mhm.
But now what I'm really getting into is kind of feeling the undertow of the vibe. Anytime I'm around certain people, and I want to really get better at reading the room. You know what I mean? Trying to feel that out.
real
So,
quick. But what
go
would
ahead.
you do? Real quick. So, like Marco, what would you do if it? I don't know whether you went to decide to own the building, but you go to own you rent the building, and then your supposed competition goes and buys the building from your landlord so that when your lease is done, you have to get out of the building. So he's trying to make you leave all of these locations. It's a totally different thing when people are obsessed with not seeing you be able to do something.
No,
and they have the resources to do that.
So like I might have people I'm in competition with, or I might have people that I don't like and like quote unquote enemies. But my actions, I don't care what happens to them, but I also wouldn't want to see them get hurt, right? Like, but I don't give a fuck if they get hurt or not. But I don't want my actions to directly kind of affect them. So then the gloves are off at that point. Like if they're trying to so to get perfect example, I had a location and a guy was going to open up across the street, and I got wind of it, and I said, look, just get back to him and tell him I'm big enough school that I could stand in front of his school and just say, hey, what are you paying over here? Okay, cool. Just go across the street. We're going to let you train for free. Go right over there. Right. So there are ways that you can handle certain things. Buying the building, man, if they got enough money to buy that building, more power to them.
I would say keep finding different buildings and
take
all their money. Like nobody can buy all the buildings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
I got what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But
Just keep.
but there are things that you can do that can throw salt in that particular game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm doing them.
As part of this is going on, what are you learning from just keeping everything quiet from now on?
No, yeah, and what I've learned is that the things that I do are impactful. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand 100%
There's
what
no
you're saying.
resistance to something that don't hold weight. You're struggling against it because you're seeing what it's doing. It's like, holy shit, this thing keeps on moving. Now I have to put an effort into you. It's like they got to put extra effort. I don't.
Look, so like in fighting, it's a zero-sum game. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Normally, unless there's an odd draw or whatever. But in business, like I don't have to operate my business or my life that everybody has to lose around me, right? All my competition has to lose. It's just like I don't like that mind space, right? And the people that are in competition with you, it sounds like they're in that mind space,
right?
And that's a negative headspace. Like you're in a growth mind state. You're like, all right, I got to do what I got to do for me,
right?
And I'm going to bring people with me that are the right people are going to grow.
Right.
They might be successful now, but let's hope the eventuality is that they fall flat on their face.
Right. What happens is some things become so blatant that people recognize it. And then what happens is they say, I'm going to help you. You understand what I'm saying? Because it gets so blatant that they're like, I see this now.
Like what happened to Pablo Escobar.
I'm going to throw you a oop, bro. I got you because now I could tell this is on purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't just go around. You can't make so many enemies and fuck so many people over that it doesn't come back and bite you in the ass.
Right. A lot of guys have to deal with that. So it's one of those things. Now, I wanted to ask, when's a time like a friend really laid something on you that was so heavy, like said something to you that you felt was disrespectful or hurt your feelings in a real, like somebody was your ace. Like this guy's your ace and he turns and says something to you and it just fucking, it blows you away. It changes the way you look at them.
So in a negative way.
In a negative sense, not in a positive sense, in a negative sense. I have I have some, but
I don't think I've ever had that experience.
I can't think of anyone where I'm no longer like I've had some uncomfortable conversations with people and like heard things that maybe I didn't want to hear, but I needed to hear.
That's definitely one.
You know,
that's one.
But I can't think of anything where it was something where I was like, you know what, man, this relation, it's not worth having this relationship anymore because you're an asshole and what you're saying is wrong.
Right.
You know.
Right. Dev, how about you?
But sorry to cut you off. And I learned this quote not too long ago, but it's something that I think I've carried throughout my whole life. If I wouldn't listen to your advice, I'm not going to listen to your insults or your
I like that. Take that with you, Ninja Nation.
Yeah.
Take that with you, that jewel. That's why this is 101, like the class, dropping jewels on these cats. Dev.
Criticisms. I won't listen to your criticisms.
If you're not important.
I had a person that was like super, super close to me and they were kind of like a pit bull, right? Like everybody was afraid of them. And everything we did together. But I wasn't like a pit bull dude. I was looking at him like I see that he's a pit bull, but he's never going to bite me. It's my dog. My dog bites everybody else, but he's not going to do that to me. So I kind of turn a blind. So I turn a blind eye to certain things that's wrong too, right? And I was young. And then something happened where this pit bull tried to bite me when I was younger. And I was grown though. And when I stood up to the pit bull, he said some things that insulted me because it's almost like, how you think I'm pussy if I was there for everything you ever did? I was right there with you. What you thought you did that shit by yourself? You didn't. I was there the whole time. You was just the loudest person. But you know what I mean? And the way he said it, it made it where we was like never cool again. never fly again.
Right. There's a
Years
difference.
later,
There's a
he
difference.
reached out to me on some like, I miss you, bro. I just want to make things what it was. And I was like, well, now it's dope that it's cool between us. And then we see each other as cordial. And I actually did a favor for him just to show it's cool. But I told him straight out, we'll never be the same things again.
But it's nice when you win and you could help somebody out. You be like, here you go. It's almost like a fuck you, but it's not.
It
Like,
wasn't.
really-
It was just to show a true good faith. Like, bro, there's really no hard feelings. It's just that once that happened, we never be the same ever again.
Yeah, but that's I mean, that's a nice position to be in to say, hey, you know what, I appreciate you, but I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Right. Because you know that you cannot. It's okay. I don't know if we'd all come to a consensus, but it's okay to outgrow people. It's just one of those things that has to happen.
And that's what happened is when I separated from the person, I grew so much because I found out how many people came to me and said, I stayed away from you because you were next to him. So many people was like afraid of him and didn't want to work with him. They always thought he's the cool one, the nice one. And then doors opened up for me like crazy once I got away from him.
So he was blocking your blessings as someone.
Yeah, we didn't know. He was just a rough guy. He was just a rough dude.
Yeah, I had a homie that now I kind of changed the way I talk. I try to refer to people as, like, I don't use the term best friend. I try to say like childhood friend or friend of mine. I don't try to
for kids.
Yeah, of course it is, but still people use it. You know, it's one of those things. So I changed the way I speak on them, and we were going through a situation that was created by someone else, and he got really scared. And he told me, without going into too many details because it's going to seem so obtuse, he told me that he had to do what he had to do for himself and his family. And, you know, this is a guy that would tell people we're brothers or we're this or we're that. And when someone says that to you, like when you say you got to do what you got to do for your family, it lets me know that I'm not family.
100%.
That's what that means. Now, listen, I'm not, he did what he did. My only issue with that is, when we go to speak about it again, you still don't understand. You give no credence to my side of the argument. I tried to broach the subject and talk about it, and he became very defensive, which was also like, I ain't never talking about this again. So, you know, it's one of those things, and people will disappoint you, but it's just the way things are. If you live long enough, you know, you'll go through the gambit of emotions and experiences.
Right, and
it's
like
a great thing.
all relationships, given enough time or pressure, you know, people's true selves show themselves.
And I'm the type of dude that I'm gonna be there, even if I'm not happy with what you did. Like, my code doesn't allow me to be a certain way. So like, if I don't like that you did that and I know where I stand, but there's an emergency, I'm gonna show up for you. You know what I mean? If you need me in the middle of the night, I'm gonna come through. I know you can't do that for me, but a lot of times, you know, people have a Dev. Dev doesn't have a Dev. People have a Timmy. People have a Timmy. Timmy doesn't have a Timmy. Marco doesn't have a Marco.
Oh,
you know, other people
thing to
have a
say.
Marco. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have that. You know what I'm saying? So for these people, they got me, but I don't got them. You know what I mean? And it's that, like, a line from a Drake song. You know, them niggas you with, you think they with you, and you know, when the going gets rough, you know,
that was
some
Lil
cats,
Wayne.
it was Lil Wayne in the Drake song.
Oh, wait.
It was in the Drake song.
I've been correcting you guys on a
I
lot
know,
of like
I
hip-hop.
know,
Yo, man,
really.
hey,
Yo, but I'm
you're
still
all over
blown
the
away
rappity rap.
by that revelation.
Nah, man, listen,
Because my mom didn't have another her.
right.
She
But-
was that
okay.
for everybody else.
And I'ma tell
Nobody
you-
has another them.
No, of
Right.
course,
No,
but
no,
what I'm
no,
saying is,
no,
like,
no. Some people-
it's not-
No, you don't have a Dev.
Listen,
I don't have a
hold,
Tim.
no,
He
no,
doesn't
no,
have
no.
a JB. He
But
doesn't have
listen,
Mark.
what
None
I'm
of us
saying-
have another us.
But
You have something else.
What I'm saying
just
is
not
that
yourself.
someone that will provide the things to you that you would do for other people.
Let
That's
me
what I'm
tell
saying.
you
I'm
something.
not saying that
Counterpoint.
I don't. This wasn't
You
about
can't
that. But again,
expect other people to think and act the same as you.
100%. That's
Yeah,
called
anybody
projecting.
can't
I
expect
understand
that
that, but
about
that
anyone.
wasn't the point. The point's not about. Now I feel like the point wasn't that. The point is to let you know
I feel like
about other
what you were
people.
saying happened with you and your friend is happening right now.
right there. Right. That's what it is. So, and with that.
Wait a minute.
That's it. No. You see how the Yakubian devil does it? You see that? That's it.
Peace.